Hey, what's up guys? Books Nelson here, back with another video, and it's been way too long since we've had an old-fashioned card breakdown. And part of that reason is I haven't pulled packs in forever. In one of my recent videos, I showed how few of the collections I invested into because I did not think they were very good, right? I put my money where my mouth is, or I don't put my money where terrible cards are. But in this case, and when I say money, I'm speaking figuratively. I don't spend money on the game outside of the Pro Pass. Pro money spent, boys, stand up. I haven't been said. I did have 600k MT lying around in addition to 75k VC, which I actually have not spent yet. I just went and I got pretty blessed in the packs because I pulled 3 Dark Matters. And one of those Dark Matters, I'm thrilled to say, was Mr. Emoni Bates, because he is the man of mystery. He hasn't been in the game yet, so he was a blank canvas character for 2K to just put in the game and just give him anything, right? And they gave him everything. You know, a lot of people were speculating, okay, the guy's, he's been listed as 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". In game, he's listed as 6'8", and he does have a little bit, I won't say a T-Rex wingspan, but it's very noticeable that he doesn't have an elite wingspan. But he's still 6'8" with a 6'9" wingspan, and yeah, and he has basically every good animation in the game. So let's talk about this card and what he's good at. So first things first, we got to look at this jumper. So he's got Booker base with Kobe upper on very quick. A delightful combination. And how many of my team creators are going to call a jump shot delightful? That's why you guys subscribe and like on this channel. So yeah, delightful jumper. Just really a pleasure to use. Is going to be excellent in all ways. Great on the leaners. No flaws in the jumper. We're going to go ahead and look at this with the Jokic step back as well. And you can just see the shot cue is extremely easy to read. And this guy can take any shot in the game. Step back, you know, any hop jumper, leaner, behind the three-point line. He's going to be good at it, right? So yeah, great blend of jump shots, particularly for my team. This is a great series of jump shots. Now, I will say it is not a glitchy speed jumper, but I do liken this to most of the very good jump shots in the game. Honestly, it feels a lot like Devin Booker, and I love Devin Booker's jump shot. I feel like Devin Booker's jumper is really easy to hit. So I think Emoni Bates is in the same category. Once you spend a good 5-10 minutes with Emoni in the practice realm, you never miss again. And for that reason, already, I think Emoni makes most squads in the game. Just being 6'8" and having that jumper. But Imani's got more than that, so let's talk about it. So going from the bottom to the top, he's got the, you know, Steve Francis size up, right? So he's got that Steve Francis size up. And he's also got the Kyrie Irving dribble style, right? So we know what that's about. So if you're new to this channel or new to dribbling in general, the Kyrie Irving dribble style, what's really special about it is that you can burst out of everything. And what's really special about the Steve Francis dribble style is not only, the Steve Francis size up, not only is it quick, but it actually has a great variety of animations inside of it, right? So we're going to go through them really quickly, and we're going to show you bursting out of the size up. Size ups are extremely strong this year when they're good size ups. So if we look at the crossover has this little hop. We look at the between the legs. The between the legs has this kind of built-in hesitation. And then we look at the behind the back, and the behind the back is a more standing in place dribble. So this means if you invest the time to practice and get used to these things, you have something for every situation. I'll give you some quick examples. So say I do a snatchback and a regular size up crossover. Look at how much he moves off of that combination, right? That's not a move that most cards in the game have. More now, but that combination with a great snatchback and using that is fantastic. Same thing if I do a crossover and then go into his escape. Now, if I do a double crossover escape, I get this automatic animation. But if I do a regular crossover into an escape, I get the first. And so you see what I'm saying? So it's like you get the same benefits of doing a double escape without being locked into an animation. So this crossover is actually a very powerful thing. So same thing with the between the legs, right? So the between the legs has this built-in hezi. Here's where the Kyrie Irving dribble style comes in. So I go between the legs, and now if you don't have the Kyrie Irving dribble style, you have to do something special if you want to burst out in that same direction. But with the Kyrie Irving dribble style, all you have to do is run And as soon as you run, you can burst out. You see that? It's almost like a built-in hezi burst. Now you do have to time it a little bit, but you can basically built-in hezi burst. So which means if we go to the first point and I'm doing some kind of size up combo and I go between the legs, I can burst out of it immediately if I time correctly, right? So this is a nice combination of things to have. And let's talk about that behind the back. So a really great use of a quick short behind the back like this. Say you're dribbling around, right? You've cooked your opponent and now you're dribbling, you're setting them up and they start sagging off of you, right? What the defense is going to do, they're going to start to run back and forth. They're going to sag up and run up to you. As soon as they back up, if you're moving around, you can hit that small behind the back and shoot, right? And that small behind the back, no matter what dribbles you're doing, you can settle it down with that small behind the back and shoot instantly, right? So you're doing whatever combos you have, they back off, and it's say you just did that Jamal Murray behind the back, you can do the small behind the back and shoot. And you can punish the sagging defense by basically interrupting the conversation with that little behind the back, getting squared up, and that shot is going to be money because it squares the shoulders of your character. It basically sets up the ball in the pocket like in real life. And yeah, and you can launch that shot right away. So in addition to that, the Steve Francis size up also has these wonderful built-in combos, right? So the way you do these is basically you just do the crossover in a measured pace, back and forth. The same thing can happen with the behind the back. He has these behind the back combos, and he has a version of that between the legs as well. And you can obviously blend all three just for a built-in size up combo, right? To set people up, to get people thinking, to get people moving. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, but you'll get plucked. Okay, yes. If you dribble directly in front of your opponent like that, you can get plucked. However, that's not the situation you're doing this in. The situation you're doing this in, number one, they're in front of you running back and forth, or they're trying to set up for something. So this is when you get them guessing with that stuff, when you want to manipulate them to start moving around. Another one is, and this is actually quite popular in my team. So once you go for a steal in the backcourt and that adrenaline drops, now you can dribble in front of people a lot more. So if you see your opponent swipe, or you see that they're guarding you with a character that has swiped at some point in the possession, now you are free to use these dribbles much more with a much lower chance of getting plucked. So if you have a bag like that and they're trying to guard you, that can be really effective. Another thing, and this is something most people don't realize, is the AI, once the AI has, reached and they're low on adrenaline, they follow the same rules as a human, and they're not going to be able to pluck you. The AI doesn't like being set up like this, right? If you hit the AI with these setups, it does open the AI up to the other things that work. And we're going to talk about some of those other things right now. Okay, so his escape. He has, I believe, actually, I'm going to look this up real quick because I don't want to get this wrong. But I believe he has Kemba escape in this dribble package. Here we go. Emoni Bates. There we go. Okay, my apologies. He has Trey escape. Okay, good. So anyway, Trey escape is fantastic. One of the best escapes in the game. And long story short, you hit this escape and you can explode out of it, right? You hit the escape and you explode out of it. Hit the escape, explode out of it. And you have to hit the timing of that to get that explosion right. But the great thing about that escape is that escape into that L2 cancel behind the back. And I realize that's an advanced technique, right? Look up my dribble tutorial if you want to know how to do that. But very briefly is you hit that escape, you hold L2 to stop, and you see how the character slows down. Before you visually see that slowdown, you hit the behind the back. And that's what gives you that interruption. I will note, make sure your left stick is a little more horizontal as you're moving with that escape. If you're getting other weird dribbles, just try to tame that left stick a little bit. You see how I didn't get it right there? Just watch the left stick so that you make sure you're moving more horizontally to get that L2 cancel. So that Trey escape into that behind the back, the computer does not like that move. They don't guard that move well. That's a computer breaking move. So if you set the computer up before doing something like that, right? And then you go and then you come back, once the computer starts reacting, this can beat off-ball defense very effectively, especially with a shot as smooth as his. It's going to be very easy to hit off of that setup. So yeah, that Trey escape is great. And obviously, if you're very, very good at the L2 cancel, you can L2 cancel back and forth, and benefit from that as well. So let's go ahead and move on to his combo moves. So this is his combo move. Not like great with the combo moves. That's okay though, because so it's the Kyrie Irving combo moves. It's fine. You can throw it in a combo. So like if you're using, different, like say the momentum dribble is actually a nice little combo move there. If you mix this in with something like the momentum or the misdirection, you can combo up, but I don't think that's as beneficial in my team as it is in my career. Because in my career, you have Gatorade, whereas in my team, you don't have any Gatorade. So spamming dribble moves is to your disadvantage because it's going to just send the card to the bench if you're unlimited. Or if you're in triple threat, it'll gas out the card, or in clutch time, it'll gas out the card and you don't even have a substitution. So this move, I would say use sparingly. Here are his, okay, so this is his aggressive combo move. This move is actually interesting because it has this built-in hezi in the beginning. So what you might know about aggressive combo moves is it's actually very hard to steal the ball from people once they start doing these aggressive combo moves. Now, is this fantastic? Not necessarily, but there is something about this that's great. You see this initial hezi right there? You can burst out of that initial hezi. And the way that initial hezi happens, it allows you to be able to see that, right? And you can also snatch out of that initial hezi. So I do like this as a substitution hezi move because this is his regular hezi, right? It's not as good, that's his regular hesitation move. So if I look at this, that's a much better hezi. So basically he has an upgraded hesitation move that you have access to. And I like that because that hezi into that snatch is a great conversation starter for this card, right? So, and you can also burst out of it if you know how to do hesitation bursts. In and out dribble tutorial in the link in the description below, because if you have the in and out tech where basically you do this turbo in and out here, right? You do that turbo in and out and you can burst out of it in either direction, right? If you burst the same side, it explodes like that. And if you go opposite direction, it does this really fast crossover that you see right there. So if you combine that with this hezi, you can burst as well, right? Using that in and out tech, which is a fantastic move because that's something that it's a hezi that's going to be harder to pluck because it's one of those automatic animations. And it's visually very obvious. And the great thing about visually obvious moves is your opponent sees it and they react to it, right? So if you're comboing up and then you hit them with that, they got to react to it a little bit. And if they don't react to it, you burst the same way. If they do react to it, you burst the opposite way or you snatch back into a jumper, right? And so having those options available to you, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing for Mr. Emoni Bates. All right, so let's look at his regular size up. So his regular size up, I'm not, or should I say breakdown moves. This is very slow. I don't really know what I would do with this. I'd have to play around with it. This doesn't look like much to me. Just really slow walking the ball back. This should be also hard to steal the ball from him from. So it's useful in that sense because it does move him backwards a little bit, but I don't think that's super great. All right, let's go to his hop back and snatch back. Obviously, elite hop back, elite snatch back. And I want, this is the John Wall. And so this is something you can use in a lot of your dribble combinations. The one thing you got to be careful about with the John Wall is if you're going to the side here, you'll get this deal, and that can put you out of bounds. So you got to be really careful about that. That's why I like the Chris Paul, because the Chris Paul doesn't do that, right? We don't talk enough about the hopbacks in terms of moving horizontally. Luka and Chris Paul are way better at moving in that direction, but John Wall is absolutely elite at moving directly backwards. And this is an auto cook. In fact, when I was playing co-op yesterday, this dude was just literally with I forgot the rookie card, might have been Shepard. From the next collection, he was literally just boom, boom, three-pointer, and people could not guard him. He was tearing people up. Shout out to that guy. So, everybody knows about that. I will say one of the more underutilized moves in this game is the John Wall snatchback out of the L2 cancel. Because the thing is, you only need one L2 cancel to get this John Wall snatchback working. And if you can just do that one L2 cancel like that quick snatch, that's a really, really, really strong move because you can still combo up after this John Wall snatchback, right? And going back to the size up, any of those size ups work out of this John Wall snatchback, every single one of them, right? So you have a lot of options available to you because you can snatch. I'm going to go real slow here, but you can snatch, size up, escape, and let me get a better escape. You can snatch, size up, escape, and go, right? And so if you get good at bursting out of that escape, or even just using the Kyrie Irving dribble style off of that, that's a simpler way to approach it too. So you can snatch, size up, Kyrie Irving dribble style, and go. It's a little slower off of that, but it's still really good. And you can also use that in and out tech as well, right? So let's say snatch, size up, in and out tech, and burst in the same direction. So there are a lot of options available. You can be really, really slippery on the perimeter. And this is a 6'8" card with an excellent jump shot doing all of this. So yeah, is this guy really, really good? He absolutely is. Is he better than Rudy Gay? I don't know. I didn't use the Rudy Gay card, so I can't compare them directly. But do I think this guy can start or be the backup shooting guard on the best team in the game? I do. I don't think he's the #1 slot for that because Glenn Rice still exists. But I think he's in that next group behind Glenn Rice, right? Like, yeah, he doesn't have patty base, but he has everything else, literally everything else. And he's taller than Dr. J, right? Which is great. Although Dr. J is a decent character model, but I think he has better overall SIGs than Dr. J is. And you guys, you know, on this channel, I've been one of the bigger advocates for Dr. J this entire time. But on my personal team, he would replace Dr. J. And he starts over Clay. I would have to play with him and Ricky Davis extensively to see, but his animations are so elite. I really have to think about it because I love this card. He definitely makes my lineup 100%. And I do think he is one of the more elite cards available to pick up in the player market. And if you were coming in and you just had MT to burn and you were just trying to put together a team, having him at your 2 and Tyrus Thomas at the 3, you can compete with any team in the league in the game, in my opinion. So yeah, big thumbs up to this Emoni Bates. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Please like and subscribe. Dribble tutorials will be linked in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.